Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg, and guess what? I have America's true sports car, the one and only. This is a 2019 Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sport. But before we get into this wide body drop top of a C7 Corvette, let's talk about what's going on here. So like I said, America's sports car. This car, the Corvette, has been around since 1953, and the only year that they didn't make a production version was an 83 model year. Now, yes, they were selling Corvettes in 83. At the beginning, it was 82 that was carried over, and then they started selling the first year of the C4, the 1984 Corvette, a little early in that 1983 year period of time. Now, fast forward to the C7. I remember 2014, it was a big thing to see the redesigned C7 Corvette. The Stingray name had made a triumphant return, which that name hadn't been on a Corvette since 1976. And on top of that, by 2017, they brought the Grand Sport back. So remember, the first year of the Grand Sport was all the way back in 1996. I was a sophomore in college, and Chevy kind of wanted to go out with a bang on the last year of the C4, and they had the first ever Grand Sport. Now, the C4 Grand Sport's actually very, very special. The reason why is they only made 1,000 of them. They only came Admiral Blue with the white racing stripe and the 2 red hash marks. You could get a convertible and you could get a coupe. In C6 generation, which started in 2005, that is where we start to eventually see the Grand Sport name come back. But pretty much Corvette and Chevrolet made as many Grand Sports as people would buy. And that was the same story with this 2017 to 2019 C7 generation, is they made as many as people would buy. Now, the special thing about this one, 2019, that's the last year of a C7 Corvette. Last year of a front engine Corvette ever. Now, if you're craving front engine V8 goodness, and you're trying to keep what you spend within a certain amount, do you go with something like this pristine Grand Sport, 2019 Grand Sport, or do you go buy yourself a brand new Mustang GT? Both have V8s, both of them, the engine is in the front of the vehicle, and both of them have specific V8 driving experiences. So let's go ahead. Let's dive into the final year of the C7 with this Grand Sport and find out how you should spend your money. Right off the bat, I'm loving this color. It sparkles like a ruby in the St. Petersburg sun at the front of the business. Even, like I said, 2014, when I first saw a C7, I just loved the shape of it. They did a great job on the headlight design, LED daytime running lamps, projector beam headlights, turn signals. Of course, you have that little extra wide body fender flare, because this is the Z06 body. When you go Grand Sport, you did get a Z06 body, which I really like the look of the wider body. We come across that low slung nose. It's all about functionality. So you have your gloss black lower grille area. You can see the extra splitter that's been added to stop that air from going underneath, because remember, that air can create lift, which can upset the balance of this car when you're at a racetrack or on your favorite twisty road. We have the famous cross flags going back to 53. Every Corvette has this at the front end of the business, and it's interesting to see how they've changed over the years. But definitely loving the look of that long slung nose and where the V8 I think it should be, which is up front. Now, as we rise up, you're gonna get these nice crisp lines. You do have a functional heat extractor / aerodynamic device, carbon flash metallic, and you are getting a bulge. And when you look at the front of this, obviously this is more of an actual sports car. I know people call Mustangs sports cars. To me, they're not really a sports car. They're more of a modern day muscle car. This, through it all, is a sports car, has always been. Now, as we go very wide around that fender flare, you'll notice the Grand Sport gets specific wheels. Large V-spoke design. Up front, you have a 19-inch wheel. Out back, you have a 20-inch wheel. Love the gloss black Brembo calipers with the Corvette name, and you'll notice the rotors are two-piece and they're slotted, which helps dissipate heat. Now, when you check off the Grand Sport box, it's not just about the extra width of the Z06 body, you're getting automatically all the goodies from the Z51 performance package. So you're getting the special tuned suspension, the different brakes, different wheels, and of course, as you can see, we have those Michelin Pilot Sport tires on this beast. I like the way these are just a nice metallic silver with that ruby color maroon finish. A little bit of wax. Somebody forgot. Let me rub that off. Nice. There we go. Sparkle ruby setup here. But I like the way that the silver bounces nicely with the red. You can get these chromed, and you can also get them in gloss black. So something to be aware of. Now, coming down the side, the Grand Sport has a specific functional fender vent. Like the way it's got the Grand Sport name. Flip it around. You'll see the carbon flash metallic in there. Like I said, fully functional. The difference between this fender vent and a Z06, the Z06 doesn't have that middle portion there. Of course, the Z06 doesn't say Grand Sport, it says Z06. Duh. I think it was smart that they went gloss black, that carbon flash metallic on the sides, the A-pillars for the window frame, color match on your mirror cap. And then I really have always liked how the door handle is hidden. You actually have to go inside here, hit the button, and then the door opens up. On the lower portion, you have that side skirt extension, carbon flash metallic. And when you get to the back, you have, of course, your cooling duct for the transaxle. One of the things that kind of bums me out about a convertible is that you don't have the upper duct, which is up on the top here. You just have the one lower. But what I do like about the convertible is that speedster style with the tonneau cover, a little bit of carbon flash metallic, and then I like the way the color waterfalls into the interior with the cross flags. Let's take a look at the back end of the business here. So 20-inch wheel out back, like I said, you're getting Brembos all four corners, and out back you're looking at 335s, not 305s, not 315s, 335s. Of course, it's rear wheel drive, and you have a limited slip diff, which is nice. Now, when you come around the back, carbon flash metallic on that deck lid kick-up spoiler. You got that great quad tail lamp, LED lighting with the functional venting all throughout the rear of the vehicle, the cross flags. And then another thing that I love is how they have the exhaust in the center. It's active performance exhaust, that GM performance exhaust, so you can make it quieter, keep the peace, or I would say piss everybody off and make this thing have that V8 rumble that we come to love here on Rady's rides. And then, of course, the lower diffuser area looks like it's right off a freaking C7R race car. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop that hood and see what's lurking with the Grand Sport. All right, guys. One of the things that I've always liked about the Grand Sport is that it's very balanced. So, of course, it's got the Z06 wide body, but it does not have the supercharged V8 from the Z06. But we have that backwards opening hood in the right position, and the hood has been like that since 1953. What do we got going on? You have that naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8 pumping out 460 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic, or you could get the 7-speed manual, 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, quarter mile, 11.9 seconds at 117 miles an hour, and the vehicle weighs around 3,600 pounds. MPGs, 15 in the city, 26 on the highway. And one of the things that I've always liked about the engine compartment, there's not a ton of plastic everywhere. You could actually see all of the V8 goodness underneath the hood. And if you're comparing this to a new Mustang GT, the Mustang GT does have a little bit more horsepower. Remember, we're looking around 486 horsepower if you get the Ford Performance exhaust. But remember, the Mustang GT does weigh quite a bit more than this Grand Sport. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this thing up and hear America sing. All All right, guys, we are inside the last of, I would say, the best, to be honest with you. I love C7s. I like C6s even more, but I love Corvettes. I just love Corvettes. And yes, I like the C8 as well. It just, I don't know, it just wouldn't be the one I would buy. That's just me. I'm just being honest. Would you rather me lie to you? Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I want some type of sports car. I want something with a V8, but I also want a convertible. I've been thinking about a new Mustang GT, but just like you, I've always had a sweet spot for these C7 Corvettes. How much is this one? So the asking price is $58,000. But remember, this is pre-owned compared to a new Mustang GT. Let's see how you should spend your money. To the door panels. Clean style, white contrast stitching. Everything else is dark material, so you don't have to worry about fingerprints and dirt and all that. We have the Bose sound system. Soft armrest. You got that little button on the silver door handle that pops the door open to get out. And then you have a door pocket that's big enough for one American all-beef hot dog and maybe a bag of peanuts because you're going to a baseball game. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, you do have your dual climate control, which is nice. That's for your passenger. Lots of space here for your passenger, like the stitching, and you have an oh crap handle for them, which is nice. Come on in. You actually have the same size infotainment system screen as a new Corvette. It's 8 inches. This one, though, is obviously the older technology. You could tell by the graphics. But the cool thing is that you got your secret hidden compartment. You got your felt lining. You could put your iPhone 47 Platinum Edition in there, and there's a USB-A. Make the screen go back up. Real volume knob. There's your engine stop button. There's your other set of dual climate controls. Love the way, I'll move this out of the way, they got the Grand Sport badge with the original Grand Sport race car that goes back to 1963. 12 volt, definitely want to get a radar detector. This is that Corvette 8-speed, actually says 8-speed right on it. 2 cup holders, your mode selector button, a little bit of silver trim. You do have some storage underneath here, 2 USB-As, another 12 volt. You could probably put 1 bag of Big League Chew. Behind the seats, I don't know if Steven could show behind my seat, are these cubbies that are large enough for a box of Twinkies on each side. And then the seats, not as sexy looking as the new C8 Corvette, but still gonna get the job done with good bolstering, leather. You do have electric controls for the passenger, electric controls for the driver. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the flat bottom wheel in this Grand Sport. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Love the way you got that Corvette sill plate with the cross flags, the pedal box, right out of a C7R race car, aluminum dead pedal, brake pedal, and throttle. Seats, like I said, are electric assist, which are nice. I'm 6 feet tall. With the convertible top up, you got plenty of room. You could run your helmet at a track day and not have any issues. Steering wheel, the nice leather, flat bottom. I wish it would have said Grand Sport here. That's a zonk. But you got flat black on the switchgear. Plastic paddles for the 8-speed, which is another zonk. But you do have an electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you have that nice large 8 digital gauge cluster with the analog speedometer, coolant, and fuel gauge. But other than that, nice, easy to read, easy to understand. Let's get into the trunk area, see what you could stuff back there, because I'm ready to go on throttle with you in this C7. All right, guys, one of the great things about Corvettes is that even though it's a 2-seat sports car, unlike the Mustang GT, which technically has those smaller rear seats, you're still gonna get some usable cargo space. Now, not as much as the coupe, but the convertible with the top up, you could put a full set of golf clubs in here. Now, I don't know who the hell does that, but you can. Other than that, you have your space. With the top down, it does restrict some of that space. If you put the top up, it gives you a little bit more room. But like I said, if you're buying a Corvette because of how you're able to put your golf clubs in it, I don't know, man. I don't know if a Corvette's the right car for you. But if you're getting a Corvette, especially a Grand Sport, because you love on throttle, then you're my best friend. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Jump in that passenger seat and let's go on throttle together. All right, guys, we're inside this 2019 C7 Grand Sport. I love the feeling of being on that rear axle. I'm gonna put the 8-speed automatic into manual shift mode, and we're gonna see how it goes. We're starting with the top up, and then of course the top will be dropping. So if you're ready, I'm ready. On throw, here we go, yeah! Yeah! Love the sound of these C7s. It just has a more visceral sound to it than a new C8 Stingray. I don't know what the hell it is, but they just sound so much better with that GM performance exhaust. The shift from the 8-speed automatic are fairly quick, fairly smooth, not as good as an 8-speed DCT. And I really think that the transmission, the Mustang GT, if you go automatic, is going to be the better transmission. But with that being said, this still has plenty of the good stuff that you want. And of course, we have that V8 sound out the back. Let's see how it handles. Of course, there's gonna be a little bit more wind noise because we're in a convertible and this is a cloth top. But a Mustang GT has a cloth top as well if you get a convertible. On the brakes, ooh, the brakes feel fantastic. Nice smooth downshifts. Yeah! Yeah! Get a nice pop when you hit that next gear. Look at this, here we go. The feedback through the wheel, it's like my hands are grabbing the front axles and just turning the vehicle. That's the kind of feedback that you get. No rattles, no creaks, very buttoned up, buttoned down feeling in here. And obviously the lower center of gravity in a Corvette just outperforms a Mustang. It all comes down to you can't get a new C7 anymore. They don't make them anymore. So do you go pre-owned or do you go with a Mustang GT that's new with a full warranty and everything else? That's what you got to ask yourself. And newer technology, of course. Seats feel great. They're very, very comfortable. They don't have as vicious a bolstering as the new C8, which I kind of want. But especially if you're gonna try to daily drive this thing, I think you're gonna be very, very comfortable in here. We're gonna put the top down. We gotta drop the top. Very simple. We hit the button left of the steering wheel, and that cloth top is gonna fold once the tonneau cover opens up. Hello, sun. Hello, vitamin D. Tonneau cover locks in, and then you're gonna get a little beep. There it is. I'm gonna put the side glass up just to kind of, so you can hear my voice a little bit more, but really just that nice open air experience. I love the way the color spills into the cabin. But if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Yahoo! Woo! I tell you, those claps, every time I shift and that gets that clap from the exhaust, it sounds like thunder clapping. That's what's amazing about this V8 Corvette. Definitely the exhaust sounds better in this car than a Mustang GT, but the Mustang GT exhaust sounds good as well. There's just something special about the sound coming from this V8. It's like, I think about the C7Rs going down the Mulsanne Straight at Le Mans, and that's the sound that you hear. On throttle! Nice! On the brakes. Downshifts feel good. Yee-hoo, here we go! Brakes feel freaking phenomenal. The power gets to the ground so nicely. And if you notice, with the top down and the side glass up, you're not getting a lot of buffeting, which is great. The air's going right up and over, and it's not making this crazy tornado wind tunnel experience. I feel like I'm on my own amusement park ride. It really feels like that, and that's what's great about these cars, and that's why I say, you know, if you're looking at a car, get a car that moves your soul, man. If you're like, well, I'd rather have an EV, I don't know if we can be friends. I really don't. But it's nice to have the different modes. The infotainment system is plenty fine. I mean, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even turn on the radio because the sound is what's coming from the back of the car. That's the music, that's the symphony, and you get to be the conductor of the orchestra. This is one of my favorite parts of the Radies Rides test track, and I know it's gonna sound glorious, and I can't wait. Second gear, on throttle! Smooth downshifts. Really love the experience driving this thing. Look at this, holds the line so well. If this car doesn't put a smile on your face, you might want to check your pulse and even see if you're alive, because you might be dead. You're like a zombie driving a Corvette, dead. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed riding shotgun with me. I love sharing the experience. I'm putting this top up because it's getting hot as hell. But we're gonna go ahead and get back to Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. Let me know what you think. Are you going with this Corvette Grand Sport to have your V8 drop top fun, or are you gonna go with a new Mustang GT? Let me know how you're gonna spend your money. But I definitely gotta thank Miro, the rest of the crew, getting us access to this Corvette Grand Sport here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. If you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rides family. Need to get it up to the Flood man, Stephen Flood, working that camera like a champ. He loves Corvettes, he loves V8s, and he just loves performance. So show him some love for him, because he loves all those things. He needs some love from you. So show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.